Have you ever wondered why in this life, in this realm, in this world, that there are so many abnormalities taking place on the planet? I mean, we've all seen videos of Uber drivers spitting in the food of people, digging in their nose. You have beings who will block out the sun, manipulate the soil, spray the sky. You have to ask yourself why. And the reason being is that you have beings inside of human beings who have infiltrated the vessel. And this has been going on since the beginning of time. And this is why many biblical texts, from the Quran to the Bible, talk about demons and jinns. And when you look at the stories and how people were acting strange and abnormal, is because their body is under attack. So let's prove this. In nature, there are thousands of parasites in existence. There's one parasite called the T. gundi. Scientifically, it's called toxoplasma. The T. gundi has the ability to manipulate the nervous system of a rat, and it will alter the behavior pattern of this rat to make it sexually attracted to a cat. In nature, there's a natural predator and prey relationship, but when this parasite is involved, it will create a condition that will allow this abnormality to occur. The reason being is because there are certain conditions inside the belly of a feline that allows this parasite to procreate, to thrive, to flourish. And so it will use one host to get inside the body of another host. And that's one parasite out of so many. And so when you get a chance after this video, I want you to research the cat lady syndrome. There are many studies that were done that basically showed the schizophrenia that took place amongst women who had several cats in their environment. And once you do that research, there's some other research I want you to do. There was a study that was done. I'm gonna publish the scientific study in the comments below. And it involved a group of homosexual men and heterosexual men. And the fecal samples of homosexual men were compared to that of heterosexual men. And what they found is that there were parasites inside the stool of these homosexual men that wasn't present in heterosexual men. So when you start to understand what we're really dealing with, you'll understand that there's a war taking place, and it's been taking place for thousands of years. And when you look at the conditions of this planet and how it's changing, you have to ask yourself why. What type of beings are changing the environment to make it more conducive for its kind? This is why some of you have loved ones who, they don't like the smell of certain herbs. They don't like eating healthy. They always have to be cold. You know, they don't like fresh air, sunlight. It's a reason for this. Their body is being manipulated right before your eyes, and this is why there's no peace in your home. You wonder why you argue with your loved ones, your church members, your coworkers. You're at war with something that is unseen. And this is why in the scriptures it talks about principalities in high places. So if you truly want to understand the body, dis-ease, how to bring the body back into ease, how to clean your blood, how to heal yourself, I strongly suggest you check out my website, healthyarian.com. And I've owned that particular domain for many years, but I felt called to do something with it. And yes, I've been vegan over 22 years, and I've done some amazing things when it pertaining to that. But I've come to realize that health isn't just based in veganism. There are levels. There's a difference between seeded fruits and seedless fruits, tap water and artesian water. So when you understand that health isn't just food alone, it's about your heart, your intentions, your mindset. How do you think? Did you even know how to breathe properly? Most people don't breathe from their lower diaphragm, or in martial arts, it's called the lower dantian, your dantian. And so if you ever seen that Buddha statue with the protruding belly, this is how you should be breathing. So health is more than just, physicality. It's more than just your mentality, your spirituality. So it's about totality. And so I basically I made it my mission to teach people how to master themselves on every level. Remember when we were younger and we would always hear in Hollywood movies about hell on earth, and you would always hear this concept about hell on earth. And there's a prophecy that came to me many years ago that basically painted out what's happening in this generation, in this lifetime, in the future. And you have beings that are doing some very, very, very interesting things. And it will only get worse if the education isn't given to people on how to protect themselves and how to deal with what it is that we've been dealing with for quite some time, before I was here, before you were here. And I have something else I want you to think about. Those that, and I don't judge, by the way. I'm not a preachy vegan, I respect the journey of others, and I want you to just realize something. If you are eating at your favorite fast food restaurant, a hamburger or a chicken sandwich, you have to ask yourself, how many sandwiches, how many chickens, how many cows are needed to feed the population that are carnivorous in nature? When you look at the amount of fast food restaurants that we have in the world, and when you look at the amount of food that's needed to supply the inhabitants of this planet, mathematically, is it sound? Think about this. When is the last time you've seen a graveyard being built? In all of my years, I've yet to see a graveyard being developed. Every graveyard that I've seen has always been there. And so you have to ask yourself, if people are dying every second, every minute of the hour, where are all the bodies? Where's all the meat going? And then you start to connect certain dots. You begin to realize you have some very sinister people that are feeding you. There's a possibility that you're eating your fellow inhabitants. So you really have to change how you see this world and what you're up against, because you're involved in a war that you really can't see fully. Like, you're fighting people, but you're not fighting them. You're fighting what's inside of them.